Good afternoon, Mr. Chairperson, my fellow speakers, and ladies and gentlemen. I've tried to have a disaster management, or rather, I'll put it a disaster, what I call it preparedness, at the Tihar jail. I've also started saying it's more of a correctional home instead of being jail, because what we are working towards as the next phase of this entire process is that we like to have a lot of programs and reorientation of the inmates which are lying over there. Let me give you what we have done over there, and let me give you a preview of that. It is one of the largest prison complexes in the world. It comprises of 9 functional jails in the Tihar complex and a district jail at Rohini, which is a little bit far from that. The total population of the inmates at any given time is about 12,000, and on the other hand, on the contrary, the sanctioned capacity is 6,250 prisoners. On an average, about 70 to 80,000 prisoners or inmates remain lodged in the Tihar for different durations in a given one financial year over there. What I have done to start with, as the basic requirement, I have created a local area network in the entire jail over there. The prison complex is spread over an area of 1.62 square kilometer, and I have created a fiber optics cable to start with, and that it was done in the year 2002. And right from the beginning, my thing is we should create the infrastructure first and then work the utilities around that. And the reason being, why we made the fiber optics cable, that no inmate will be able to cut the wires, because my experience was that people were playing mischief because they never wanted this particular system to be run in the entire jail network. I think I should not be speak this word very loudly. If the Delhi government comes to know, or Mr. Savitar Prasad, who was there in the morning, I'll be in trouble. But the main purpose was to make the fiber optics was that it was embedded roughly about 3 feet below the ground, and so that nobody is able to tamper with any of the fiber optics cable over there. And the idea of the fiber optics cable was that people should be able to do video conferencing between the jails, between one jail to another jail, then have a private EPFBX running over there, and have a secured network so that the data can be moved over within the network. So we have created a 1 Gbps. It was done in 2000T, and now it has become. Now we are talking about roughly about 10 Gbps, and we are planning to upgrade the whole system very shortly. The total length of the optical fiber cable laid was about 5.4 kilometers within the jail complex also, and I had to literally open up the hole, and by the end of the day, by 6 o'clock, that particular hole which we had drilled in the massive walls have to be plugged and sealed so that things don't move out. And that was the level of the security which was there in the Tihar jail. And I remembered, to start with, when we had created the PowerPoints for all my switches, I made sure that there's an extra PowerPoint available for the sentries to make a cup of tea in the cold night. Because what will basically happen, they will remove my 15 ampere plug, put in there in the cold one. So for me, e-governance or any of the preparedness is preparing for the common man over there. So we had, if you go to the jail complex and see the switches, there are actually 2 power plugs, one for making cup of tea and other for running my secured network in the network. And that is from the practical experience I'm telling about. The entire network has been penta-scanned, and this I actually purposely made as a 2-tier architecture so that I do not have the problems of the virus attacks from the digital world, from cyber security. So it's just a pure intranet over there. And that's the layout of the actual lens setup. And we have created few software applications which is running reasonably well in the prisons. One is the prisons management system. The second is the visitors management system, which means that each visitor who is actually coming in the jail is being photographed. And I'll give you the statistics which we have covered over there. The video conferencing between the jails and the court. So look at the amount of the security preparedness which is there for carrying and ferrying the people to the courts and bringing back over there. I remember before the system was implemented, the inmates used to were woken up at 4 a.m. in the morning. They were brought to the Jodi gate at 6 o'clock. They were physically searched and taken into the vehicles which were having literally a jail-like atmosphere, and taken to the courts, and where they were being heard. And if there is a chutti declared, or the honorable justice is on leave, so they have to come back over there. Look at the amount of the preparedness we have done, and all those have been saved. The court is there in the jail premises. The court starts at 11 o'clock. They have to come as if a normal routine is going on in their own jail premises. Appear before, I'll show you that picture, appear before the video conferencing, and they can get a bail out of that. So the problems have got changed over there. Video conferencing. Then I've got a surveillance system, what Sir has told about, a digital surveillance. I'll show you that. And biometric has also been implemented. It's a 1:1 matching biometric. It is a 1:M and 1:N biometric. And basically, for the inventory management system of what they require, what the jail people require every year over here. This is the snapshot of the business management system. You can have the photograph over there. It's all the movements within the jail and outside the jails, and all the cases which have been. It's basically history. Whether he's a frequent flyer to the jail, or he's a first timer, and all his cases, it's just on a single sheet. His entire things have been photographed over there. The size, one of the specialty of this particular software is that instead of you can use a webcam, and at the click of the mouse, the photograph gets directly into the database, and after getting compression. So those are compression techniques. Unfortunately or fortunately, I myself have written over there, and the total size of this picture is about 900K, and normal JPEG or MPEG file is roughly about 3 to 4K. So that is the savings, the savings in the sizes. And one of the great advantages, you don't have to take the picture, store it on the desktop, and attach maybe the wrong one into the right place or the right one into the wrong place. So directly goes into the database, which is very fast. And this is how the entire history of this inmate or a visitor. And you can actually classify whether it's a low risk or a high risk or a medium risk, and so on and so forth. Well, it's a client-based architecture, as I have told you. The centralized database is having a data of about 250,000 prisoners. They have the photographs of 171,097. This is the data as of today. It supports a very powerful retrieval system, and it is storing the fingerprints of 172,296 inmates. This is a figure which I culled out from the database at around 12:30 in the afternoon. So it ensures the security, so that the wrong person is not, if the right person is being relieved from the jail, and not the wrong person of having the similar names. And it really happened, and because of our system, we were able to protect a terrorist of getting out of the system over there. The prison management system is also trying to locate the identity of the prisoners, where it is located. It moves whatever the movement over there. It's being used for the effective management. When he is getting released, what are the remissions? On which date he came? When is his next hearing date? So all these things are being monitored. We have generated almost about 102 different reports, because the National Crime Record Bureau is requiring certain data. The Human Rights Commission is requiring certain data. The state government is requiring certain data. And Mr. Kalsi, who is from the central government, also requires certain data. So it caters to all the 102 different reports which are required by the different authorities. You can see this is the picture which has been taken over there. And if you can see that this is the platen over here, it's a very rugged platen. I'll show it, put it finger over here. He's putting his thumb. You can take all the 10 fingers, the provision is there, but generally, because many times, many of the inmates who are frequent flyers and who doesn't want to give their thumb impression, they actually get it what I call it the blunted. So we generally take actually 2 in the left and 1 in the right, because if worse come to sometimes I have seen people without any thumb because they don't want to give the thumb impression over there. So I said, okay, make it left hand. At least we have some data about there. Because people say that we should have iris, people have retina images. But I said, if a prisoner, if a crime is getting connected, if you have the iris, you will be able to identify it. This is the person. I hope you don't mind that. But unfortunately or fortunately, at the crime site, you always get only and only the fingerprints. So in the disaster management or preparedness, you should always have a fingerprint of that. The second aspect is in the field of, especially in the forensics, you should have a complete rollover, which means the size of the platen which we have is about 1.25 inch by 1.25 inch, which takes the entire gamut of the minutiae and the high points, etc. So this is the thing which they are taking it over here. Let me talk about the visitors management system. This is being generated in a real time, which means that he is coming at the gate, getting himself photographed. You can see again the same technology is being used. You click the button, you get the photograph into the visitors management system database over there, and by the time you say akra, which means in 60 seconds this meeting slip is being generated. So that's how the process has been written. And for your kind information, sir, for this visitor management system, the processes which have been designed, we have got the ISO certification also. I think for processes, maybe this is only the first and the only one to get on the process. We generally get it for the software, but not for the processes. And this is how the control room or where the people are. So you can see the when people are just putting their face. You have the click, you click, the photograph is generated, the printer is being taken and given it on a real-time basis. So the total number of the visitors photograph is 7,95,267, and you can see that visitors are being even monitored in the case of the prisoners. Because what happens is, if you see the psyche of a criminal, he will never like to be photographed or fingerprinted because you are leaving an audit trail behind of photograph. So only the antisocial elements are not willing to come to even to meet their inmate friends. We have very great visitors. Papu Yadav is a very frequent flyer over there. R.K. Sharma, who is an IPS officer, he is a frequent flyer. And many of the honorable people are the guests in the Tihar. I also have a room over there, and I also have a room in the Parliament. So I have a room number 105 in the Parliament House, and I have a room in Tihar. Interoperability over there. So, and the video conferencing. So we have got a lot of video conferencing equipment between, so they run on the ISDN network. And this is how the VC looks like. People sit over there and get connected to the jail, and they get remand and so on and so forth. We have got CCTV cameras also over there. As Sir has said, we have got both analog and digital cameras. I never wanted to give you the details of that, but because of security, this is the video wall which we have created. You can see each and every camera over there. The active feeds which are coming. And yes, sir, our range is also 5 kilometers, what you have said. For security reasons, I don't want to give more details for that because that's I've been associated with that. And because if we give too much of information, the security, the first thing is that we should not divulge too much of information. If somebody is asking your name, you should always say Rajiv. And if you say you have not said your surname, I always say you have not asked my surname. So whosoever wants to me, they have my email and ID and so on and so forth. They have published my paper in the current issue over there, and I should, from the bottom of my heart, I say thank you for inviting me, and that's all.